The United States and Israeli government doing everything they can to stop the ICC from issuing arrest warrants, even trying to intimidate the ICC. You have people in U.S. Congress speaking out against the arrest warrant, saying just BS about everything because they're afraid of themselves getting arrested for supporting the Israeli government. And they're afraid of Bibi Netanyahu and other Israeli officials getting arrested because that's going to cause problems for both the US and Israel.
The ICC says it's aware of the significant public interest in its investigations and that engagement was consistent with its mandate under the Rome Statute, but warned that its independence was undermined when individuals threatened to retaliate against the court or its personnel. It says such threats may constitute an offence against the administration of justice under the Rome Statute. The ICC statement points to Article 70 of the Rome Statute, which deals with offences against the administration of justice, including subsection D, impeding, intimidating or corruptly influencing an official of the court for the purpose of forcing or persuading the official not to perform or to perform improperly his or her duties, or subsection E, retaliating against an official of the court on account of duties performed by that or another official. The context: Axios this week reporting that a bipartisan group of senators on Wednesday had a virtual meeting with senior officials of the ICC to express their concern about possible arrest warrants being issued for Israeli leaders over the war in Gaza.
If they didn't know that the United States is supporting genocide and war crimes and that the Israeli government is committing human rights abuses, war crimes, and genocide, they wouldn't be this worried about arrest warrants being put out because they would be able to prove that it's false.
Republican House Speaker Mike Johnson on Wednesday released a blistering statement calling the possible warrants disgraceful, baseless, lawless and illegitimate.
Lawless? How are they lawless? Because it's the ICC? That makes no sense. They're uh, a global authority. But also, according to Axios, Bibi Netanyahu and other Israeli officials are threatening to uh, punish the Palestinian Authority if arrest warrants are put out, saying that it's the Palestinian Authority that's uh, uh, getting these arrest warrants put out for um, war crimes in the West Bank, and that they're going to hit them so hard or uh, retaliate so hard that it will cause the West Bank to collapse. A person that isn't a war criminal wouldn't be making such threats like that.
Johnson said further that instead of wrongly targeting Israel, the ICC should pursue charges against Iran and its proxies, including Hamas. It is understood that the
Well, if the Israeli defenders weren't so ignorant, they would know that the ICC is also investigating Hamas. They're investigating both Hamas and the Israeli government.
ICC prosecutor's probe does in fact include investigating the actions of Hamas. Furthermore, Republican senators led by Tom Cotton, Ted Cruz and Marco Rubio,
Though the claim that the ICC should be investigating Hamas is just a way to try to discredit the ICC, claiming or acting like they're not investigating Hamas and that they support Hamas and it's only the Israeli government being attacked by the international courts, which, again, was a lie because the ICC is also investigating Hamas.
have introduced legislation to sanction ICC officials who investigate or prosecute U.S. troops and officials and allies who do not recognize the authority of the ICC, such as Israel.
It doesn't matter if they don't recognize the authority of the ICC. Putin doesn't recognize the authority of the ICC, and the ICC still issued an arrest warrant, and he can be arrested by the signatories of the ICC.
Additionally, the White House earlier said it didn't support the investigations because it didn't believe the ICC had jurisdiction over alleged crimes committed in the occupied Palestinian territories. Asked
Again, that doesn't matter. If the Palestinian Authority puts up a case with the ICC against Israel, well, yeah, uh, the ICC will then have jurisdiction over what's going on there, just like with Putin and Russia.
if the US administration was engaging the ICC on behalf of Israel, this was the response from Washington's UN envoy this week.
The ICC is an independent organization, and their efforts are being undertaken without any contact or interference by the U.S.
Right, that's a lie. That's because Congress is proposing laws to sanction the ICC, threatening them, trying to impede their investigation, trying to get them to stop because both the United States and the Israeli government has committed war crimes that the United States and both Israel don't want the ICC to know and make public.
All of this put together is likely what prompted the ICC to issue a statement insisting that all attempts to impede, intimidate or improperly influence its officials should cease immediately. But no word.
And those actions should be considered crimes against the ICC, and the ICC should be able to issue arrest warrants against politicians and stuff trying to interfere with their investigation. I mean, if it was like a regular citizen trying to interfere with the investigation of a cop, like in the United States, they would be arrested over impeding an investigation.
Word or confirmation from the court that arrest warrants in relation to the war in Gaza were imminent, amid a great deal of chatter, including from panicked Israeli officials in that regard.